Hello everyone and welcome back to round 2 of season 4 of the F124 My Team career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on the Jeddah Corniche. Of course, if you missed out on the season opener that went live yesterday, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But of course, yes, season 4 kicked off. It was quite a dramatic race in Bahrain. There was certainly a lot of surprises and yes, certainly a lot of questions left unanswered as we return here to Jeddah this weekend. However, if you guys remember last season, this was the race that got away from us. We should have won this one last campaign. I got a drive-through penalty. I got a 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. So this season, we want to try and get redemption here. Taking a look at the championship standings, Charles Leclerc leads the way once again, ahead of Lance Stroll, of all people there. Oscar Piastri had a good debut race for Mercedes. They're ahead of myself and Lando Norris, with Alex Albon getting points for Williams, Pierre Gasly getting points for Haas, and Zhou Guanyu, probably the most staggering of all, getting points for Sauber. They didn't score a single point last season. I think they scored 6 points the year before. Those are the first points since Italy Season 2 that Sauber have scored in this game. So absolutely wild. But yeah, let's see whether they can keep that up this weekend. I'll be honest, I'm more interested in trying to beat Leclerc. We can't let our teammate build up a buffer in the title race.
Welcome to Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar, but let's see who will be the fastest of them all. It's time to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's time for qualifying.
Well, although Charles Leclerc kind of got the perfect storm in Bahrain, he really just had his big rival Fernando Alonso picking up that damage early on. It allowed him to build up that lead in the GP on lap 1. And it kind of meant then, yeah, that none of his big rivals were really able to compete with him, especially obviously then with Verstappen retiring from the Grand Prix as well. It's safe to say the Dutchman has come back with a lot of vengeance this weekend. Currently fastest in Q1 and has set the fastest time so far in Q2. So, of course, yeah, Max winning this race last year. He loves the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Are we going to see him claim victory again today? I mean, it is razor-thin margins up and down the grid once again. I do genuinely believe this season could be an absolute barnstormer. A bit like the current My Team season we've got going on Map 2 and 2 gameplay. Maybe F124 now is truly going to start shining as we set a 27-1. We go P5 there, but I think we were less than 0.2 slower than Verstappen at the front. And I mean, look at those gaps then. Although, yes, Verstappen is hungry, so is Alonso, only 0.03 of a second away. Lando Norris ends up P3 there at the end of the second session. Both McLarens looking a bit more racy here, so we could see a 6-way scrap at the front. But Ferrari, I mean, we're still right there. It is genuinely like Red Bull this season of every other team seems to have caught us up at pretty much exactly the same time. No major shocks though in the end. It ended up being your OG kind of 5 big teams in this game. Behrman there gets the better of Alex Albon, but I mean, look at that. 4-3 cars there covered less than 1/10 of a second behind Sergio Perez. Well, we do get 2 bites of it here into Q3, and well, yeah, this car, of course, we'd stormed to our first ever pole position here last season. For Ferrari, Leclerc, though, looks like he wants to try and claim pole position this time around. A 26.8 there. It's a really, really quick time by our teammate. I wonder how many drivers we're going to see dip into the 1-minute 26s. Can we be one of them that joins him? Bahrain, like I said, it was a bit of a bogey track for us inside F124. So this weekend, we want to try and deliver through the S as we go. Just keep it planted. Bubble through that first sector, dipping down into the 1-minute 31.8. That's quicker than Verstappen was even able to do in Q2 and get it right up to the wall of death on the exit of turn 12. I mean, the last one we do is probably going to be a sweat mode lap, but I'll take you guys for a journey around it. I mean, this place, yeah, the margins of error are so small. It is such a good track, though, when you get it hooked up. And I'll be honest, at the moment, I'm feeling good. Unless you're on the overtake mode, we're not actually burning through any more charge. So that's just how efficient these engines are right now. It's up towards the line then. What is the time going to be? 26.9. We go a 1/10 slower than our teammate, as once again Aston Martin look to be racy in Q3. And is every car back out then ready for their final run? We need 1/100th of a second at the moment if we want to get ahead of Alonso. That's just how close the gaps are. But I'm not interested in P2. I want to put this thing on pole position once again. It's down in towards turn 1. Spot the 100-meter board. Just be careful with the brakes that you don't lock up. And really try and carry the car in third gear on the exit there. Instantly finding close to another 10th. But will we see the AI get quicker as well? So we almost hit the wall through turn 3. I've made that mistake too many times I can't even count anymore inside the F1 games, as Leclerc has lowered the benchmark. Our teammate brings it down to a 26.6. So we're going to need to try and find a little bit more as purple again through that first sector. It's the rest of the lap, though, where Charlie seems to be flying. So I think we've opted for slightly more downforce than our teammate, and he's using that to good effect here in qualifying. Don't know whether anybody else has been able to go quicker than us, as we almost slapped the wall through turn 13. We are a 10.5 up now, though, as it looks like at the very worst we're going to end up P3, but I want to go better than that. There's 2/10 up now down the back straight. We are pretty much even with Leclerc at the moment. Purple through sector 1, purple through sector 2. Just use that little bit of overtake mode slightly earlier. It'll carry us off the corner, but we might just lose a little bit of delta down in towards the final turn. One more corner to go. Just got to try and nail it as we brake at the 100 meters. Tip the car in. Get on that throttle nice and early. And this is going to be so close between Leclerc and I. I think we might only just have enough, though. Is it pole? Is it pole?
Excellent lap. We're all very, very pleased with that one. Nice work. Come on, I'll see you back in the pits.
And there we go then. It is pole position here in Saudi Arabia for the second year in a row. Things looking rather predictable come the end of qualifying. Both Ferraris, both Aston Martins, Red Bulls, McLaren and Mercs there will make up your top 10. Don't know when the last time that happened in Formula 1. Someone will have to tell me down in the comments below. But just 2/100ths of a second in it. Admittedly, pretty much every team, the gap was incredibly tight between their two drivers. But we line up on pole. Let's get that win.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world. Jeddah, one of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca. One of the biggest ports in the region, and now host to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at a topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Firestarter lines up on pole position, Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Verstappen, Perez, Russell, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Gasly, Behrman, Albon, Ocon, Sainz, Zhou, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Vesti and Yuki Tsunoda. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Well, we welcome you to the broadcast. It's going to be some race today. First of all, introductions. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this one, Anthony Davidson. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, they have. And it's, rule number one, beat your teammate. They're the one that share the same equipment as you. And yes, the cars can vary in setup from race to race and depending on who has which style. But essentially, they're your barometer, the yardstick. If you can beat them, that's the first job you have to do. And it looks like it's going their way, doesn't it? And they need to carry on this momentum, this energy through the rest of the season.
Well, Ferrari have had both pole positions so far this season, but it has been one each way between myself and Charlie, and that he was able to convert it last weekend. I'm hoping we can do the same today. I'm not convinced the soft to the medium, though, is going to be the way to go. Tyre wear here can be a bit difficult to judge, especially with the temperatures when those softs fall off. So I think we're going to go the other way. We're going to go medium to hard and maybe just have a little bit better pace towards the end of each stint there. It's a bit of a risk, but, if we can stay in the DRS of those other cars as well, then hopefully we won't run into too many problems. Not going to bother with too much spare fuel. This thing is pretty efficient now inside this game. But let's do this thing then. It's time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. 5 red lights here on the grid. And it's lights out, and away we go there. Pretty well judged as Alonso's had a fire start. Tries to get between myself and Leclerc down towards turn 1. We will run it deep into that first corner there and actually squeeze my teammate out as Verstappen making moves as well a little bit further back there. Gets ahead of both Aston Martins, as Alonso not able to do anything with that good start here tonight. And last year, oh, we got a VSC already. Stroll's got a 10-second penalty. What on earth has Stroll done? Well, I'll be honest, yeah, watching this back, not really sure what Stroll could have done. Both cars ran his outside brake very late. He's gone and lost his entire front wing. So once again, Aston Martin with some problems. But yeah, I mean, the Canadian kind of just got squeezed into the inside wall there as they tried to go 3 wide. Oh, trying to nail this restart down the back straight, and we had done exactly that then. You can see already we've opened up the gap to a second over our teammate Leclerc, so we've really caught him napping there down the back part of the lap. But I tell you what, it seems odd to say, but Ferrari so far this year, in both races, there's been chaos, and in both races, it's kind of allowed our cars to get away a little bit. Stroll is holding every single other car up a little bit further back, so you know, I guess Lance helping us out in that regard. But yes, Perez now makes the move on him. That's kind of spread out your top 4 a little bit more, as Leclerc immediately, though, is going to try to look for a move.
You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Yep, we saw it in qualifying. Leclerc definitely running less downforce than me, so yeah, I think he's got to try and capitalise. He'll need as much grip as he can through this first sector. I can see Alonso and Verstappen just battling it out behind us here. Of course, there's still questions about Red Bull's reliability in that car, so I think first and foremost, Verstappen would like to see the checkered flag. I mean, the fact that we're already going under 1 minute 30 best laps here is ridiculous. We're only on lap 3. Well, I'm just studying our teammate's car at the moment then, and he's definitely, yeah, weakest through that first sector. So we could certainly get a run on him there, but I think, yeah, with DRS and overtake mode, don't think there's going to be a lot he's going to be able to do here. You can just see, though, once we pull out of that slipstream, it's actually pretty even between us. So we don't want to force the issue too much. Last season, tempers really did flare. You know, we're hopefully going to try and build back up our relationship with Charlie this season. Maybe they'll have a bit of mercy and let me win a few races later on in the campaign. But I think we've got to try and make the move on Leclerc pretty soon. Otherwise, it looks like Alonso behind us is getting a little bit restless here. Not happy to sit in behind for all too long. And I mean, the Spaniard, he knows, watching 2 cars that are the same team fight in front of you, if you can just push the envelope a bit, force the errors, then maybe you can capitalise. Especially between Leclerc and I. Of course, he knows firsthand what it's like to have some rivalries with your teammate. So we'll go side by side with Leclerc off at turn 1 and turn 2. Don't really want to be side by side to here. Oh, Leclerc hits the inside wall. Has our teammate just misjudged that terribly? Has he picked up front wing damage? I think he might be okay, but that was not what he needed to do. Oh, I think, yep, putting ourselves at the front of the field was probably not the wise choice, because without the DRS, we are a sitting duck in a straight line there. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging with our teammate there as I tried to squeeze him through that final corner. This time around, though, we have got the DRS, and I'm sure, again, Fred Vasseur is not enjoying this, as Alonso wants to try and make it 3 wide. Just thought I'd give him the room at the last moment. And we're going to go from the lead all the way down to P3 then, by the time we make it down to turn 1 and turn 2. Verstappen as well waiting in.
Completed a pass for the leader of the race.
Oh, come on, Alonso. We can't now drop back from Charles. I have no idea how our teammate got no front wing damage. Oh, Alonso! Alonso stopping! Drama again down at Aston Martin after the contact on lap 1. Whether that's, damage, say, some of the cooling on Alonso's car. But Fernando Alonso, I wonder why he was so slow off the exit of the corner. And pulling over to the wayside then goes the Spaniard. And, well, early season.
Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Well, another virtual safety car being deployed here for an Aston Martin in the wars. And I'm going to take an opportunity here if we can. And I'm going to opt to dive in for a new set of tyres, although that VSC is coming in again.
And we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Yeah, I was going to dive in then, but luckily we do get the DRS off Charles thanks to that VSC. So we can keep him a little bit closer, but already at the front then, dropping like flies. And now, well, it's a bit of deja vu, because it's your big 3 from last year. Right, come on then, let's try and once more force the envelope with Charles Leclerc. Could we go with new fast lap of the day? Ugh! I mean, he left that door open. It's like Ocon and Alonso here a couple of years ago. He left that door open down at turn 1. We're not going to back out of it then. Through turn 3 we go. And as much as I want to give Leclerc some racing respect, oh, it's around the outside. We'll make it work. Again, he slaps the wall. How am I supposed to race alongside a man that will at 200 miles an hour quite happily try and put me in a wall?
Please keep the temps down if you can. Okay, mate, I'm afraid we didn't quite get what we needed there, but let's not worry about it. Get your head down now, chin up.
Well, apparently I failed that task within about 3 seconds. That must be the quickest failure I've ever had on this game. But yeah, the point stands. Leclerc, he has got no respect. And again, when he's got this much more straight line speed, I'm willing to give him the room off of a corner if he's clearly got the momentum on me. Verstappen as well. We'll say thank you. So clearly, yeah, a lot of deja vu at this stage of the afternoon. Are we going to see Verstappen try and get that Red Bull to the lead for the first time this year? Yes, we are. This team, yeah, just starting to wonder about the pit stop window as Verstappen there. He will try and get the long way around our teammate. Oh, I wanted to try and switch him off the corner. Verstappen backs out of it. I could try and force the error. Oh, tried to tuck in behind Max, but he had to let off. Charles Leclerc is playing dirty. And here we go then, this time round, Verstappen able to put the power down out of that final corner. He's still got the DRS, but Leclerc, more than a match for him. 3 wide for the lead. Back down towards turn 1, and Verstappen's just going to close our teammate off there. We'll try and squeeze him out over the curbing through that first corner as well. So, being in P1 is not where you want to be at this stage of the day, because you end up being P3 almost immediately. Don't hit that wall. Well, team providing me just to remind me there that we cannot afford to speed into the pit lane. Of course, I know that from last season, and with the track position over Leclerc, then we should be able to dive in at the end of this lap. However, I just worried for a second there what would happen if we were still around the outside of Verstappen, as he's going to opt to stay out one more lap. Leclerc as well, of course, going in hot pursuit. I took no risk there whatsoever into the pit lane. It looks like pretty much everybody trying to extend a little bit further, and that's going to be a slow stop.
Right wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put that behind us and get back into this race.
So frustrating. How often does this happen inside this game? Luckily, we don't get held up behind the likes of Behrman as he dives into the pits. As we make our way back down then in towards turn 1, we're going to come out behind Zhou Guanyu, who is again running up inside the top 10. Admittedly, I think that's slightly helped by other cars pitting. Oh, come on then. We cannot afford to spend too much time staring at that neon green car. As around the outside of Zhou will go. Use a bit more of our battery there, and we'll just about get back to the racing line in front of him. Oh, and then Zhou Guanyu into the pit lane as well at the end of that lap, so he's not going to be able to apply any more pressure to us.
13.6 seconds.
There we go, there's Leclerc and Verstappen then. So as we make our way back down into turn 1, we're going to come out right alongside our teammate again there, who will just slip through on the outside. I believe it's George Russell then. Sorry, no, it must be Lando Norris to the lead of the Grand Prix. But yeah, lucky we had that 1 lap undercut with the bot stop. Well, I've got to admit, it was quite weird to the end of last season not really seeing Verstappen able to fight for wins. But it's safe to say Red Bull just saved up a little bit of performance and have really unleashed it this season as well there. Leclerc and Verstappen, these are the two you expect to see fighting for world titles in years to come. As Leclerc around the outside of the Dutchman, he'll go back down towards turn 1, and will Ferrari make it all the way through? Oh, Verstappen gives him a beautiful squeeze there. We'll get the long way around on the exit of the corner. So the Dutchman this time around willing to hang on. And again, 3 cars, nose to tail in these races. Well, I think Verstappen is aware that he's a bit of a sitting duck in a straight line at the moment against us too. Still, yeah, I think it's safe to say this Ferrari, I think, has still got a small margin over everybody else. As once again, we're going to try and make it 3 wide back down towards turn 1. Leclerc will power through. We'll try and not lock up the fronts down in that first corner. And yeah, Verstappen, again, how many times have we said this today? When the driver leads out of that final corner, ends up down in 3rd place by turn 2. Well, my plan was just to sit behind Leclerc for a couple of laps and try and recharge the battery pack, because we pretty much depleted it fully. I don't think Verstappen's going to give us that much time, though, to be honest. As around the outside of Charles will look again. And we just might get the nose there. Yes, we can. He might well get the throttle down on the exit of the corner, which he will. But yeah, just again, pushing our teammate along. Oh, I mean, yeah, the problem we've got is if we don't try and go for a move on Leclerc, Verstappen absolutely will. Leclerc, they're just moving over right at the last moment that time round. So we're going to try and force him out through turn 1, really getting the elbows out. And just reminding him, he can be aggressive with me. I'm happy to return the favour. Back into the lead we go. 7 laps left. I mean, it is anybody's guess. Oh, surely not there. Surely not there. Leclerc, the AI, they don't normally make moves there unless they really feel they've got a good run. I don't think I've seen them go for that inside F124, but desperate times call for desperate measures. If you name Charles Leclerc as Verstappen again will get boxed in. It's like watching a steam locomotive go around the outside of us as we'll keep the nose up the inside of the Dutchman. I think everybody still, yeah, just wants to make sure we're all in one piece by the time we get to the final lap, as again, we'll make it glaringly obvious to Leclerc. And again, he's going to try and squeeze me there. That time round, I won't accept it. We send it into that first corner, and I'm happy to return it on the exit there. Just force him out completely that time. When will he learn? I mean, this is the other thing. The AI on this game are absolutely relentless, as Leclerc again, he's going to brave it round the outside. I mean, wasn't much bravery there involved, just a lot of Italian horsepower. Back through again, 6 laps to go with this Grand Prix. It has been non-stop. It has been an assault of the mind, but still, anybody's day. Well, I'm still not sure if this is exactly what F1 had in mind with these ground effect cars, but I tell you what, it is delivering a barnstormer of a race today, as Verstappen will try and look for it. Leclerc, whoa! What on earth was that by Leclerc there? Just moved in when he could see 2 cars coming down the inside. I didn't realise that we kind of had to cut Verstappen off in the process, as now he's going to try and look around our outside in towards the next corner. Absolutely not there, sunshine. And we'll be making it back through again, but I mean, you cannot move around like that in a braking zone. It's so dangerous, but it's kind of been accepted again in the last few years. Now we've got a bit of a window to break free, though. Can I leave them to battle? Tell you what, 3 laps to go. Leclerc and Verstappen, they are not playing strategically here. They are letting me get away with, yeah, say, we've only got 3 laps left here. They haven't got much time to catch me up. And they're actually tripping each other over into the clutches of George Russell towards the end of this race. Could we see the McLaren driver get a podium in just his 2nd ever race there, as Verstappen will make the move happen? Leclerc will get right back around him. But look at the delta. They are not closing in on me. We're keeping that 1 second gap. They must have been even over the DRS detection point, because they're still side by side down into turn 1. And for the 2nd year in a row then, we are pulling away from Leclerc and Verstappen as they fight for P2. This time, though, I haven't got a penalty hanging over my head. If I've learned anything so far in F124, it's that if there's an opportunity to win a Grand Prix, you grab it with both hands and you attempt to win it there, as we're about to start the last lap here on the Jeddah Corniche. I tell you what, Leclerc's really dropping back. Oh, there we go, yes! Oh, damn it. I pushed to give it absolutely everything there to try and claim fastest lap bonus point, and immediately George Russell is going to snatch it off us here. But are we going to see the McLaren man get the jump on our teammate here? We saw Oscar Piastri able to get a podium back in Bahrain. Are we going to see the man that he swapped with get a podium here in Jeddah and go to showcase just how worthwhile a move that was for both of them? Leclerc, he's really dropped off the tail of Verstappen on this last lap. No idea what's happened to our teammate here, as both of them tripped over and presented us with a small but definite opportunity to try and build up a gap at the front of the order. And, well, like I said, this weekend we wanted one thing. We wanted the victory. We wanted redemption here on the Jeddah Corniche. And with just a handful of corners to go, I think we're going to get it. We want to fight for the world title this year again. And the first way you got to do that is prove that you're still in the fight for wins. We struggled a bit in Bahrain. Leclerc had the jump on everybody that weekend. But here in Jeddah, once again, it has been proven that other teams can fight. Aston Martin, we didn't really get a full showing by them yet again. So still they remain a little bit of a mystery inside this series. But through the final corner, don't understeer too badly. Up towards the line. It is going to be P1 in Jeddah, baby. Redemption for last season.
Yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys!
And that brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close then. as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Well, there we go then. Ferrari back-to-back victories to kickstart the year, but this time it's a little bit more even. One apiece between myself and Leclerc. We cannot let him build up a margin early on this season. Verstappen splits us in the end to come through for P2, so once again proving, yeah, the Dutchman is here to fight for the crown. Russell and McLaren, I tell you what, had Aston Martin not really screwed them over early on, I would have been intrigued to see what Russell's pace was like today, ahead of Perez and his new teammate in Lando, Norris. Then it was both Mercs and both Haas cars who round out the top 10 there. Hulkenberg, a really good recovery from 17th on the grid. What does that do, though, to our drivers' standings? Well, the gap at the top has been cut down to just 3 points between myself and Leclerc. Oscar Piastri in P3 with some brutal consistency. Stroll, Verstappen and Norris tied on 18 points apiece there. Perez gets his first points of the year on the board. The same can be said for Hulkenberg as well. So that means, yeah, we've just got the Williams, the Alpines, the V-Carbs, I believe, and, well, yeah, Fred Vesti, who are yet to score. Ferrari, though, dominant lead at the top of the constructors. Red Bull bounced back to 4th place ahead of Aston Martin there. Williams, sorry, yeah, Albon, of course, has scored points, hasn't he? So it's just V-Carb and Alpine yet to score so far. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like. Get yourself subscribed. We'll be back Monday after the Dutch Grand Prix tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy that IRL race as well. And yeah, we'll be back ready in Australia.